Hello.
Yo, how's everybody doing?
Great.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. Dave, you and I have dueling American flags in the background, baby.
There you go.
Hey, Adrian, how are you?
Good, how are you doing?
Doing well, doing well. All right, so it's 1 o'clock. We will wait another minute or two, and then we're going to get rolling here. So let's get rolling with some gratitudes here. Let's hear what you're all grateful for today. John Patrick, you look like you're grateful for a fresh haircut, man.
You know I am. Grateful for great clips.
That's right.
Let me think of something else. Give me a minute.
Oh, you're good, man. You're good. I'm grateful. We had a chance as an Exton leadership team to go out and have some dinner together at Al Pastor last night. I got to hang out with Dave Ash and Lewis Nixon, and there was even a Colby Martin sighting there at Suburban next door. So that was cool. That was a lot of fun.
I'm grateful.
Are we doing gratitudes right now? What are we doing?
Yeah, gratitudes, man.
Wow. Well, this is going to be an easy one. I'm grateful for John Patrick. He allowed me to go enjoy some food last night. He covered a class for me, so I appreciate you, John.
You got it, man. Glad to help. You got me next week.
That's right. That's right.
Welcome to the webinar. You have entered as an attendee in listen-only mode.
Some links to some asset management companies and banks that are currently recruiting very heavy right now.
Sorry.
For REO agents.
Is that you, Dave?
Take a moment to get organized.
Hold on. I don't know what I'm doing.
Asset managers? Dave, are you getting in the REO business, bro?
I'm trying.
Adjustments also. Okay? Either hire.
Spilling the beans all over this call, man.
Leave me alone. I got to get out of it. I don't know what I'm doing.
Caleb, help him out and mute him, Caleb.
Yeah, I got you. Good times. One last gratitude, and then we're going to get right into this material. I'm excited to be teaching this class. So,
Cool.
Who's got one last gratitude?
I have one. I'm thankful for all of the colleagues who have stepped in and put messages for the recommendations that I have requested for, whether it's a contractor or inspectors. Thank you, everyone.
Nice. Yeah. Awesome. That is what we're here for. So glad to hear that. All right. So I have never taught profit share classes, which is kind of funny because I've been the team leader for almost a year. And it is something that I am super passionate about. And I'll be totally transparent and honest with you. Before I became the team leader, I always thought that passive income through profit share was awesome in concept, but I just simply never really put it into place. I never had a goal. I never had a system. I was never intentional or purposeful about it at all. And so because I was none of those things, I really didn't get profit share. I was not, earning a lot of profit share. And so really what I want to do today is give you a little bit of history, answer all your questions in terms of how the system works and all of that stuff, and really help you, make a decision whether you want to be receiving this passive income opportunity. So I'll start off by just saying, and by the way, I want this to be interactive. So please, if you have questions, put them in the put them in the chat box or just ask them, because every time somebody asks a question, even if you think, oh, probably most people know this, everyone else is going to learn from that. So that's really going to be how we're going to all grow and get better. So when Keller Williams was founded, it was founded back in 1986 by Gary Keller. And it was a traditional brokerage, pretty much, similar to most other brokerages out there. And they were doing pretty well. They had one location in Austin. Gary had a vision that he wanted to build this company to be nationwide, right? And so things were humming along pretty well until one day he came into the office and he heard that 7 out of his top 10 agents in his market center left, went to a RE/MAX office across the street and said, hey, Gary, we love you. It was great doing business with you, but we just got a better deal over here at RE/MAX, right? So after that happened, Gary, being the guy that he is, he said, okay, that's pretty rough. That's a gut punch. But what am I going to do to continue to grow this business? So he took his remaining leaders that were left at his company, put them together in a conference room and said, okay, how do we create a company that no one would ever want or need to leave? And that was really the question that was, the bedrock question that Keller Williams was built on. And so one of the things that they came up with was a profit sharing system, which was brand new to real estate. No one else was doing it. So basically his top agents that were left said, Gary, look, we would love to help you build this company. We would love to create a company that is nationwide and all this kind of stuff. But we kind of feel like as this company grows bigger, like what's in it for us? How's that going to work? We would like to be involved and be stakeholders and get a reward, share in some of the profits if we're the ones helping drive this growth for you. And so that's how we came up with the Keller Williams profit sharing system. And we'll kind of dig into that a little bit more here. So, but that's kind of like the genesis, and that's how it all transpired from the beginning. So, all right. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about some of the stats. Some of you may have seen a video that I posted on the Facebook, Exton and Chesco Strong pages. And in that, I'm going to go over some of the stats from that. So anyone who saw that video or anyone who knows these numbers, how many KW agents have earned over $500 lifetime through profit share? I don't expect anybody to remember.
Guess? Make a guess?
Yeah, make a guess. Let's go, Patrick.
80,000. 80,000.
88.
81,220. Pretty good guess. And here's the thing. So you're like, okay, $500, not that impressive. Like I want $500, but it's not going to change my life, right? And so what I'll say is, from my own journey with profit share, I had 2 people that got into my profit share tree pretty early on when I was in the company, and I worked really hard to get them in, and I was recruiting them myself. And when they joined, I was like, yes, this is so awesome. And then they were out of the business like 3 months later, right? Because a lot of people get into this business and they're out pretty quickly too, right? So I was kind of like discouraged by that experience, and I never really put that much time, effort, and energy into building my downline after that. And then one of my wife's friends, who's actually, now she's with KW Media, kind of approached me and was like, hey, I'm thinking about getting into real estate. And, I talked to her a little about Keller Williams, referred her to her team leader at Keller Williams Media. And, she named me as her sponsor. And all of a sudden I started, like, on the 21st of the month, I got this direct deposit in my account, and it was like for like $500. I literally had no idea what it was. I was like, what is that? Like, I had no idea. It was like $491, which was deposited in my account. And I was like, oh, it's the 21st of the month. I guess that's profit share from Lena. That's pretty cool. So it's one of those things that until you get it, sometimes you don't really get it, right? It just doesn't seem real until you actually get it. Dave has an amazing story about how much his first profit share check was. How much was your first profit share check, Dave?
So I started with KW in 2013, and in November, I got a $1.19 put in my checking account. And I was like, I went back to my wife. My wife said, Dave, why is Keller Williams giving us $1.19? I said, I have no idea. Well, I came back in and Cindy goes, that's your first profit share. And I was like, oh, cool. $1.19. And that was for the whole year. So $1.19 on my first year. And last year in 2019, for the year, I got $18,800. And I haven't really done much other than bringing people, help recruiting, but it's not on the top of my list. But it's,
Yeah.
probably getting an average of $1,200 a month, which is
Not bad.
not bad at all.
Not bad. Yeah. So that's pretty awesome. Dave, I appreciate you sharing your story. But, you know, for a lot of people, it starts out really small and really insignificant. But the key is that it really can grow. With a little bit of intentionality around it, it really can grow to something that's really impactful and significant in your life, right? So does anyone know how much has Keller Williams profit shared since it started in 1986? Grand total.
It's over $1 billion, right?
Yeah. $1.42 billion in profit share. And they're gonna be profit sharing over $2 billion in the next 5 years. So it's that hockey stick growth. It's going up and up and up. So it took a long time to kind of get it off the ground, but now that the company's the size that it is, it's just going to start, keep growing exponentially, which is pretty exciting. So how many people have earned over $1 million lifetime through Keller Williams profit share?
100.
You're pretty good at guessing, John Patrick. So when I did the video last week, the answer was 88, and 2 more people got to $1 million. So it's now 90 people in Keller Williams have earned over $1 million lifetime in profit share. So pretty good deal. So, all right, awesome. So the cool thing is every single one of us, if you are with Keller Williams, if you're a Keller Williams associate, whether you're in sales or not in sales, every single person, when you join this company, you pick somebody to be your Keller Williams sponsor. So the question they ask is something like, hey, which person is most responsible for you making the decision to join Keller Williams, right? So the cool thing is every single person that's with Keller Williams on this call has blessed their sponsor and their sponsor's family with the potential gift of profit share. And so now that's cool. So you bless somebody with that gift, and now you have an opportunity to introduce somebody to our company and allow you and your family to be blessed by that gift of profit share as well. So that's the way I like to look at it, because we all have an opportunity to earn this profit share. But here's the crazy thing. 80% of all Keller Williams profit share is received by 6% of our associates. 80% is received by 6%. So what does that tell you? Why is that? Everybody has the same opportunity to earn this profit share.
Hey, Caleb, it's Dan. They don't know how to do it or what to do. Maybe they don't even know that it's really available to them. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and I'll say this. I mean, from my perspective as a team leader, it's my job to remind everyone in our market centers of that opportunity and to help you build that profit share. So it's not about like, oh, I got to go out there and recruit all these people. I'll get into that a little bit later and talk about specifics. But it's the same thing as, a lot of people don't lead generate for their business because they don't know who to call and they don't know what to say, right? Those are 2 big objections why people don't pick up the phone or why people don't lead generate. So we'll go through a little bit later some of those reasons. And my goal is to help you leave this call with a goal and with a plan and a commitment. So we'll talk about that as we progress in the call. So, all right. So I'm going to share a short video on profit share. So I'm going to share my screen real quick. It's only like 1 minute and 15 seconds. So it's super short. So give me a second while we do that.
When deals close, agents who haven't capped pay company dollar to the market center. The market center uses that money to pay its bills. What's left over is profit. Every real estate business is in business for profit, and usually the owners keep all of that profit. This practice makes sense. Owners invest in businesses with the hope of seeing a return. At Keller Williams Realty, we do things a little differently. We believe in growing the business together. So we split the profit between the owners who took the risk and the associates who have helped grow the market center. Roughly 52% goes to the owners who took the risk, and roughly 48% goes to the associates who helped grow the market center. So, how is it dispersed? We figure out what percentage of the market center's profit is a result of that associate, and we take that percentage of the profit share pool and disperse it through the branches of that associate's profit share tree on a monthly basis. The associate sponsor gets half, the associate sponsor's sponsor gets 10%, and so on until all of it is dispersed through 7 levels of sponsorship. At Keller Williams Realty, we believe the profit will grow exponentially when everybody has the opportunity to share in it. We believe in finding the win-win and in doing the right thing, because together, everyone will achieve more.
All right. Has anyone seen that video before? Andrea Jacobs is like, yeah.
When you are a part of Keller Williams, you have the opportunity, no
Hold on.
matter where you are in the world, to be rewarded for helping us.
Whew. I almost pulled a Dave Ash there. Sorry, guys.
To say, you need my help, I'll come over to your office.
So that quick little video, what did you learn? Is there anything that you learned that were like, oh, I didn't know that? All right, everyone knew everything on that video. Good. I was just making sure that you guys were all brushed up on it. So here's a point that sticks out to me as pretty interesting. So if I work for a different company, if I work for Berkshire Hathaway or whatever, and Berkshire Hathaway makes a profit in the month of July, who gets that profit?
The owners?
Their owners.
Warren Buffett? I don't know. The owner, right? So the cool thing is at Keller Williams, when you become an owner of a Keller Williams franchise, you're agreeing up front that you are going to split your profits 48% with the agents that help build your company, and 52% goes to you and the ownership group for taking the risk. So I just think that's pretty cool, that the whole company is built on that kind of a philosophy, which is pretty neat. So, so I see, Dan, you mentioned in there that you were confused by the percentages and the breakdown. So we'll get into that a little bit. And my goal is, I mean, if you guys want to, we can get into the tactical piece of it and get into all the numbers and everything, because it is a very complex system. But we will focus on the things that you really need to know. And if you have specific questions, I will get into the percentages and the breakdown and things like that. So, and did anyone else have any takeaways from the video that we just watched?
Caleb, if I could just do a little plug, next Wednesday, Aaron Kaufman is going to be presenting at our office meeting, and I know he goes into a level of detail around the numbers too. So that would be a great opportunity for people to join in on that.
Yeah, so it's going to be next, Wednesday, 11 o'clock, or is it Thursday? Wednesday?
Wednesday at 11.
Yeah, next Wednesday at 11. Aaron Kaufman, for those of you that don't know him, he goes around different, all over the country talking about profit share. So he's like a total expert on it. He's killing it with profit share himself. I don't think he sells real estate. He basically is just in the profit share business. So that's all he does is, grows his downline as a full-fledged, full-time business. And the dude is really passionate about KW profit share, to say the least. So, all right.
And he'll explain how he got into building a business through helping people get to Keller Williams. His story is amazing, what he has done. He was a realtor, and then he came to Keller Williams, and then he figured out that he had a lot of passion for the company and he wanted more people to come to the company. So he literally decided to build a business around helping people understand the profit share model of Keller Williams.
So I want to talk to you about a vision that I have for the Westchester, Devon Wayne, and Exton market centers. I want to see in the next 2 years, I would like to see at least 50 of our associates that are in the 100% plus club. So what does that mean? What is the 100% plus club? That means that the income that you receive, passive income that you receive from Keller Williams profit share, title, guard home and auto, and transaction fees that you earn, I want to see that pass what you pay in cap every single year, right? So I think that is a super awesome, it's a big goal, and I want to help people achieve that so that every single year when they work at Keller Williams, they're working here for free. They're actually being paid money through these passive income streams to work here at Keller Williams. And I'll say this, I mean, I am at 100% plus, and I have been for several years. And so it's a pretty awesome feeling to be able to have, you know, work at a company that provides as much value as Keller Williams does and get paid to do it, essentially. That's pretty cool.
So Caleb, does anybody on here know how much profit share our company paid out last month? We've got 3 different offices here, but does anybody know did you already talk about this? How much each of our offices paid in profit share last month?
No.
So collectively between our 3 market centers, we paid out over, I'm going to guess here real quick, about $75,000 in profit share between the 3 market centers last month. Keller Williams has profit shared year to date, I believe, $120 million. And last year we profit shared $167 million. So if we were a publicly traded company and we were profit sharing those kind of numbers, I mean, that literally would be making Good Morning America, or would be on the news when people are earning that kind of profit share from the companies that they work for. So it's a little bit of a secret how profit share works, and it really is very simple.
So what at Keller Williams, we have profit share as a revenue stream of passive income. What are the other opportunities that we have available to us?
Title insurance, title shares.
Mm-hmm. We can invest in the title company. Yeah, absolutely. What else?
Insurance.
Yep. We can invest in the insurance company. Anything else? So some of us, if we've been with KW for a while, or if this is the only company we've been with, we might not even recognize. So we have an opportunity. We charge transaction fees at Keller Williams, and we get to charge, you know, whatever we want within reason. And the market center charges us. So there's a difference between what we can charge the consumer and what our office charges, and we can keep the difference. So when we make that income in transaction fees as well, that's another thing that we have, because there's a lot of companies out there that they charge the buyers and sellers a transaction fee, and that money goes strictly to the company. It doesn't go to the agent whatsoever. So that's another opportunity, another revenue stream. So, all right. So how many of you have heard someone say that Keller Williams profit share, oh, is that a pyramid scheme? How many of you have heard that? So I was like, okay, that's interesting. So what is a pyramid scheme? So I looked it up, I Googled it. Pyramid scheme, a form of investment illegal in the US and elsewhere, in which each paying participant recruits 2 further participants, which returns with returns being given to early participants using money contributed by the later ones. All right, so another word for that would be a Ponzi scheme. So if KW profit share was a pyramid scheme, then I don't think they would have profit shared $1.4 billion and it would still keep going today, right? So it is definitely not that. That is just some haterade that's being poured on us by other companies. So I did a little bit of, I am not an analytical person at all, except when it comes to like analyzing like real estate investment deals and things like that, because I like doing that, right? So I'm a real estate investor. I would love to buy more properties. I believe wholeheartedly in building passive income, building wealth through rental real estate. I'm really all about it. But I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, gosh, I should really do a comparison versus like rental real estate versus Keller Williams profit share, and kind of just compare and contrast the two opportunities and look at what are some of the pros and what are some of the cons. So let's dive into that a little bit, and I would love to hear your thoughts or questions on this one as well. So all right, so and do we have any other real estate investors on the call here?
Yep.
Okay. What is a acceptable amount of monthly cash flow for you to want to buy a property? Do you have criteria for like what would constitute a solid investment for you?
Yeah, I want to make at least 300 a month.
Okay. What would you buy one that would cash flow at $100 a month?
I probably wouldn't, because I know how quickly $100 can become zero or negative.
What about 200?
Consider it if it was the right investment. Yep.
Yeah. So I did an analysis based on $200 a month in cash flow from an investment. So let's say you bought a rental property and you were making $200 a month in cash flow, after expenses and taxes and all that stuff. So that's $2,400 a year. If somebody comes to Keller Williams and names you as a sponsor and they're a capper, on average, you're going to make about $2,500 to $3,000 per year in passive income through Keller Williams profit share. So I kind of split the difference and said $2,750 per year. If you're going to buy a rental property, let's say it's a $200,000 property, how much is that going to cost you to get into it? How much do you have to put down
20%.
payment?
20% plus closing costs.
Yeah. So I said, okay, if on a $200,000 property, maybe that's $48,000. On a $100,000 property, then maybe that's $28,000. So profit share, what is the investment that you need to make in profit share?
Zero.
The only thing, it's your time, right? It's time. And so I said, okay, how long does it take to build a relationship and refer to the team leader? I said 15 to 60 minutes, somewhere in that time frame. I mean, I don't know. You could spend more, I guess. You could spend less. So, and if you made $100,000 a year, your time is worth $42 an hour. If you make $200,000, your time's worth $84 an hour. Okay, that's assuming a 48 work weeks and 50 hours a week. Everybody tracking with me so far? All right, so if we figure out what is the cash on cash return, so this is a pretty common metric that an investor would use to see what kind of return they're getting, a cash on cash. So it's like, how much cash am I putting out versus what the return is going to be. For a $200,000 property, it's about a 5% cash on cash return. For a $100,000 property, you're talking about 8.6% return. Now let's go over to the KW profit share. If you're making $100,000 a year, it would be a 55% cash on cash return. Or if you're making $200,000 a year, it would be a 327% cash on cash return. Pretty big difference between those two. So other things to consider: appreciation potential. Of course, rental real estate, it definitely has the opportunity that it could go up in value. If you bought it for $200,000, maybe it's going to be worth $250 in 10 years, right? What about profit share, does it have appreciation potential?
Yep.
Why did I answer yes to that?
The office that you're, the person in your downline is in could become more profitable?
That's not really what I was thinking, John, but I like where your mind's going. Here's the reason why I answered yes to appreciation potential. Because at Keller Williams, we have control over the influence we have for the people that name us as a sponsor. But when people that name us as a sponsor have people underneath them that name them as a sponsor, all of a sudden, now you have a situation where once you've grown your first line of people that have named you as a sponsor, they're going to grow the rest of it without you even knowing about it, right? Cindy, do you have a story about this, or do you want to talk a little bit about how, people in your profit share tree, there's people in there you don't even know who they are, and you're like, okay, cool.
Oh yeah, I do you have any profit share distributions to show?
I
Do you
don't.
have any? Okay.
We can get that, but no, I don't have it with me right now.
So I think that's really cool. I mean, definitely I have people in my, I earn more money on my fifth, sixth, and seventh level than I earn on my first level. Because it's a 7-level situation. And so, and it goes back up, and I have people in my downline in, California, in Maine, in Florida, in Lancaster, in Philadelphia, in Vermont, in New Hampshire. I have people from all over the country in my downline because I only had influence over the first person who joined, and then they might have a friend or a cousin who lives in another state who joined, and then, or someone might move. So that's pretty interesting. I mean, I'll show you something.
So the reason why I said it has appreciation potential is because once you get people who name you as a sponsor, you have no control over where that's going to go, but it might go really deep without you doing anything. You basically have no control other than the people in your first line. So
this is a 3-inch binder, and I have 3 of these. And the interesting thing is that we get this report every single month of all of the people that contributed to our profit share. And, it's pages and pages and pages and pages of people, and it might be 10 cents, 20 cents, $80, $200, $500, but it adds up. And because you don't know who all these people were, this month was $5,560 total.
yeah. So let me, Dan, I know you had, Dan Larson, I know you had asked the question about you don't understand the levels. So let me show you, this is actually the levels that I'm screen sharing right now. So people in your first level, that means that somebody joined Keller Williams and named you as their sponsor. You would earn 50% of the total profit share from that person. And then it goes down to 10%, 5%, 5%, 7.5%, 10%, and then 12.5%. So it actually goes down and then it starts going up as it goes deeper and deeper. So, one of the sayings that I've heard time and time again in Keller Williams is, you focus on growing your tree wide, and time will take it deep, right? So all you got to do is focus on, a few people that you would love to see at the company, and, get them in touch with me, and I'll talk about steps on how to do that a little bit later. And then you get them in, and they'll start growing their tree, and people who join under them will start growing their tree, and it just keeps on going. So, all right, going back to the analysis here. So that was my spin on how profit share can appreciate. I mean, in the sheer sense of it, I guess it doesn't really appreciate, but it can certainly snowball. So,
Caleb, do you mind if I interrupt you real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
So that's just specifically so I bring one person in, right? So that was the first level. So that you're saying in that example, like the second level would be the person that I brought in someone else, and snowballs like that, right?
Yes.
So if I brought in so I already had one person I brought into the office, I bring someone else in, it's a completely new set of percentages.
Everyone who's in your first line who names you as a sponsor, Dan, would be at the 50%.
Okay. Thank you.
So that could be 500 people or it could be 3 people.
Right.
Yeah, Dan. So yeah, those, every time you bring in a new person, they're all on your first line. And if you can see me, they're all on your first line. And then they bring in people, those people are on your second line. And then they bring in people. So you can have, it's a whole lot of routes. You only care about that first line. That's the only person you have influence over.
Right. Yeah, because I, to be 100% honest, I didn't really know much about profit share. I've talked to people about getting in real estate, and then I happened to bring someone into it. So I'm like, I should really know what profit share is like. So I was waiting for this call for sure. Thank you.
Glad you're here, man. This is what it's
Caleb,
for.
Caleb, hi. Hi, can I ask a question?
Of course.
Thank you. So I have somebody, I bring in my first line. They bring in a couple more. That would be, I guess, second, right?
Right.
But the first line goes, do the people that would be on the second line always forever stay there? Or do they bounce back up to the first spot? Because I'm not their sponsor, right?
Right. So let me pull this screen up again. So let's say you bring somebody in your first line, right? So you would get 50% of the profit that they bring to the market center in a given month, right?
Right.
Then they bring somebody else in, and you're going to get 10% of the profit that second person brings into the market center for the month. Plus, you're going to get the 50% from this person.
Right. But the 50% person leaves. What happens then?
Okay, so if the 50% person leaves, then this person comes into your first line.
That's what I meant. Okay.
They bump up to your first line. Yeah, so good question.
So
as long as that person isn't vested, just.
Yes. So Andrea probably knows more about profit share than I do because she's an MCA and she's the one who administers, this on a market center level. So thank you for bringing that up. If I make any mistakes, Andrea, please correct me because.
Oh no, yeah, I just want to make sure that's clear. So that is true. If someone in your first line leaves, and if they did not hit that vesting period, then whoever is in third downline does bump up to your first line. If they were in your second, if it was third, bumps up to your second. But if that person in your first line is vested in Keller Williams, then they will forever be in that same position.
Gotcha. Thank you.
So Andrea, you bring up a good point, which is pretty cool. So right now it takes, you need to be with Keller Williams for 7 years to be vested at this point. However, it used to be 3 years. Okay, so that's changed very recently. So what does that mean? It means that if you are with Keller Williams for 7 years and you decide you want to retire and you're going to stop selling real estate, you still get the benefits of profit share. As long as these people are actively selling real estate and generating profit for whatever market center they're in, you're golden. The other thing I'll say is this is applicable not just for Keller Williams Exton. So in other words, if you have an aunt in Seattle, Washington, who is getting into real estate, you can get your aunt connected with a Keller Williams team leader in Seattle. She can name you as your sponsor and you can, she can be in your profit share tree.
Caleb, can you tell how it's willable as well? Like what, I don't know that we've had this happen with anybody. We don't want anybody to die, obviously, but if you were to die, it's willable to your heirs, right?
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So yeah, even after you pass away, this is a willable asset. So yeah, it's pretty cool in that regard. So any other questions before we dive back into this spreadsheet? All right, cool. So again, going back to the rental property and the KW profit share comparison. So in a rental property, I put downside risk. What are the downside risks of a rental property? What's the worst thing that could happen?
It could burn down.
Burn down? The tenants could trash it.
Tenants don't pay, yeah.
They'd stop paying you. You got to evict them. What else could happen?
Calls in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm.
You may not get any tenants.
Might have vacancies for an extended period of time. Sure, absolutely.
Value could drop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could go underwater on it. You could have bought it for, 100,000. Now it's worth 80. Sure. What about Keller Williams profit share? What's the worst thing that could happen?
Missing the opportunity to recruit.
Good answer, Tim. I like how you're thinking.
Yeah.
Really, there is no real downside to it, right? The worst case scenario is, yeah, you missed out on an opportunity to build a passive income stream. So, so going next down the line here, does it require management? Does a rental property require management?
Yes.
Yeah, of course. You got to turn tenants over. I'm doing that with property that I own right now. I've got it on the market for rent. So I've got to screen tenants. I've got to show the property. I've got to write a lease, all that stuff. What about profit share? Does it require any management?
It doesn't require any, but it doesn't hurt to stay in touch with everybody that you help bring into the company, because that's, again, part of the culture of the company is when we're as owners giving away 48% of our profits, we want to make sure that the people that we're helping come into the company are being productive and they're reaching their goals. It's really important.
I have a brand new licensee, actually another one of my wife's friends, who moved to Naples, Florida from Pennsylvania. And he just joined KW Naples earlier this week and named me as his sponsor. And he's calling me 2 days ago and he's like, hey, I got a listing. What do I do now? I'm like, well, first you call your productivity coach and tell them you got a listing. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, yeah, you want to help people out, you want to help them grow, but there's no obligation there that you need to coach and mentor these people. It's just like, obviously you want to help them out. You want to see them succeed. So
Caleb, I want to go back to that. I mean, we always talk about coming from contribution, and that's sort of the reason that people join the companies. When you help them out when they're with another company. I mean, can I tell my story about Adam Hergenrother?
Cindy, you can do whatever you want.
I'm talking. I don't want Shanghai. You got an agenda.
No, you're good.
No, I'll save it to the end.
No, you're good. Let's go. Hergenrother's a big deal. I wish I had him in my downline.
So for people that are still on the call, I travel for training and I go to national conventions, and I went to a national event about 10 years ago, and there was a young Remax guy who was a top agent in Remax. He was the rookie of the year at Remax, his first year in the business, and then he was a top guy in his state in Vermont. And I met him at a Tiger Leads event. I started talking to him and actually started sending him information about Keller Williams. And I said, why don't you join Keller Williams? He said, well, there are no Keller Williams in Vermont. And I said, well, wow, you're a hustler. He's 26 years old and he was doing 26 million in production. I said, well, you could open a Keller Williams. He said, well, I don't know how to do that. So I started sending him all kinds of information just about Keller Williams. I hooked him up with the regional person for all of New England. And I invited him out to Texas to go to FSO. And he went out to FSO and they said, well, what are you doing here? You're with Remax, you're looking at the company. He said, yes, Cindy Dickerman told me to come out and check it out. So he joined Keller Williams. He opened a market center. He's opened multiple businesses. And so the whole state of Vermont is in my downline, and anybody else that he's recruited. And it just came from, so when you say there is no management required, that's correct. There's no management required. But there is the opportunity to just continue to help people. And that's how it started, was me just offering to give him ideas about how he could grow his business and grow his life.
You guys see that? She got that little humble brag in there. She's got a whole state in her downline. Good for you, Cindy. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. So depreciation tax benefit. You get that with rental real estate. Unfortunately, you do not get that with Keller Williams profit share. So we're not betting 1,000, but we're doing pretty good. You also don't get a debt pay down because there is no debt. You don't have to go into debt. You don't have to go into risk of debt to do this. This is for John Patrick here. Is it willable? Yes, real estate is, and so is passive income through profit share. Expenses. Do you have any expenses with a rental property? Lots of them. Lots and lots and lots of expenses, right? You might have a great year where you're cash flowing like a champ on a rental property, and all of a sudden you need a new roof and you need a new HVAC system, and all of a sudden your cash flow is pretty much blown for the year and maybe then the next year too. So
My best investor ever, investor client, really best client ever, he has a saying, you can't outrun the law of averages. So no matter how good it's going, eventually it's going to swing back the other way.
When you own a rental property and you haven't talked to the tenant in like 2 years because there hasn't been any issues, that's when you should be the most scared. Because something's about to happen. Yeah, so with KW Profit Share, there's a $25 administrative fee every January. That's the only expense that you have. So it's pretty basic. Tax advantages, yes. It gets a little complicated. There's a lot of tax advantages of owning rental real estate, including depreciation, including passive income. The point I want to make here is that, many people are aware of this, but some people are not. And that's that, a dollar of earned income that you earn from your job or you earn from selling houses is taxed at a significantly higher rate than passive income that you receive from investments or profit share. So the dollars that you receive through profit share are actually more valuable dollars because they're taxed less than your earned income. So just one other benefit of passive income. So, and then I wrote passive income. We always refer to real estate rental properties as passive income. And what I'm going to say is the term may say passive income. I don't care. Owning real estate is not a passive investment. It is not passive. It is an active investment. The government considers it to be passive income, so that's good. So they tax us less on it. But Keller Williams Profit Share truly is passive income. Any questions on that stuff that I went over there? Nope. Did I bore you to tears with my monochromatic spreadsheet?
Makes sense.
Yeah. Sorry, realtors. Spreadsheets are not that exciting to us. I understand it, but if we got any, Kathleen's digging it. Kathleen's digging it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. So yeah, I just thought that was interesting because I just like to kind of think about it critically and think about, what is the advantage of, because here's the deal. What I see is most people are like, they're either real estate investors or they want to be real estate investors because it's exciting, it's sexy. Like they're like, oh my gosh, that would be so cool to own rental properties or flip properties or whatever. And meanwhile, you have this amazing opportunity where you can make I don't even remember, 655% cash on cash return as opposed to 5%. And we're like snubbing our nose at it. We're like, yeah, that's boring. Trust me, when you're getting profit share on a consistent basis, there's really nothing boring about it. So Lewis just private messaged me and says, Caleb, your computer's about to explode with all those tabs open, man. Yeah, I know, man. we all have our weaknesses, Lewis. That's one of mine. So all right, gotcha. And I'm seeing that people had asked about the vesting. That was a while ago. Sorry, I have not been monitoring this chat channel. So if anyone has a question, feel free to just raise your hand and bring it up. We'll get to it. So, all right, very good. So
Caleb,
let me
talk about the regularity. I mean, we get paid profit share. It's automatically wired to your bank account. That's why when you join Keller Williams, and one of the things that is on your application when you fill out your application is we want your bank account number. I mean, there's no other real estate company out there that wants your bank account number usually for where you're going to deposit this money. And you can put that money into it. You can create a separate account. I mean, you can create a retirement account. You can create a college fund account. You can create a vacation fund account. Anything you want, you can create a separate account for that. And we get that money wired into our bank accounts the 21st of every month religiously. They have never missed it. In the 17 years I've been here, I've never missed getting that money wired in. So again, back to the maintenance of a, being a landlord and you're getting checks late, or you're, the checks are coming in at different times. Some are being Venmoed. You got to go to the bank. I mean, there's all ways to deal with collecting rent, but this is just mailbox money into your bank.
It's better than mailbox Monday, Cindy, because you don't even have to go to your mailbox.
That's right.
Straight to your bank account.
Straight to your
Boom.
bank account. It's awesome.
So, how many of you would like to add a passive income stream in your life? How many of them can you do in the next 30 days that require zero investment other than your time, and not really that much of your time?
Yeah.
This is a no-brainer. This is a no-brainer. And the thing I love about it is I love this company. And so my whole thing is, if I can share this company with people and help them live a more abundant life and help them grow their business, that is like the true definition of a win-win situation to me. So that's why I'm excited about it. I just see it as, if you go to a great restaurant and you have a fantastic experience, you tell your friends about it, right? And the same thing, if you're happy here and you're enjoying doing this and you're growing your business and you're receiving passive income from different sources and you're growing as a leader and all these good things, you're attending all these fantastic trainings that we're having, why would you not want to share that? So this is a great segue to talk about, okay, great, I get it. I want to earn passive income by sharing the KW opportunity. Now, what do I actually do, right? So let me give you let me ask you a question before we dig into that. So in using real estate as an example, if you had a friend of yours who their next door neighbor wanted to buy a house, right? One of your best friends, their neighbor wants to buy a house. How would you want them to introduce you and tee you up to that potential referral?
Silence.
Somebody knows.
Well, I figure one of these other people has got a great idea about how to get that referral.
All right, I'm going to tell you how you would want them to refer you this business, right? So let's say one of your friends has a friend who wants to buy a house. You would probably say, oh my gosh, let's say you're talking with your friend, you're grabbing coffee with your friend, and they say, hey, I actually have, my neighbor is looking to buy a house. Okay, fantastic. Would you be able to do this? Would you be able to have a conversation with your friend, tell them something about me, say that I'm a great agent or whatever, and then get their permission for me to give them a call and introduce myself? Right? Is that how you would want that referral teed up?
Yep. Tim's saying no.
Tim, when you got something better, you're in the insurance business, so you might have a better one.
I don't know if it's better. I'm hoping my friend would say, you're thinking of moving, you got to call Tim. And, call me and call them. Let's put you guys together 7 o'clock tonight, tomorrow, right? Like, hopefully I have the people in my sphere already teed up to say that, not that I have to make a call without them. They're going to put us together right together.
Oh, so you want to have the friend add you into the call. That's great. I'll take that. That's even better.
Yeah.
My whole point is, you wouldn't want your friend to say, oh, we're great. Here's Caleb's business card. Give him a call, right? Because what happens when that happens?
They don't call.
They're never calling. They're going to look in their sock drawer 6 months later, and they're going to find your business card and say, who the heck is this dude, right? So, all right. So same thing when my job as the team leader is to recruit, right? So it is my job to recruit agents. Here's a huge mistake that people make. They're excited about building their profit share tree, and they start recruiting people themselves. Don't recruit people. refer them. Don't recruit people, refer them. Don't recruit people, build relationships with them, and then refer them, right? So it's all about building relationship. The easiest thing you can do is be a great co-op agent. When you're doing deals, be a great co-op agent, be pleasant, be helpful, be a collaborative negotiator, and ask them questions to try to get them to open up a little bit personally, right? How's your business going? You know, how's COVID-19 impacted what you're doing? Like, how's your year going? How's your family? Whatever, ask them some open-ended questions. And then say something like, hey, listen, you know, I was just meeting with my team leader the other day. He was help coaching me on how to grow my business. Would you be open to doing a free coaching consultation with Caleb? His team sold like 50 million last year. I'm sure you could learn from him and he could probably learn from you. Is that something you'd be open to doing? Could you say that? Could you see yourself saying that? If they say yes, great. I'll get an appointment with them. If they say no, that's okay. You know, it's worth a shot. So I will upload that doc that explains exactly how to do that. And when you do that, when you get their permission, if you would text me and include them on that text and just say, hey, Caleb, I want to introduce you to Steve. You know, Steve and I are working on a transaction. He's been super professional, blah, blah, blah. And then I'll call him. I'll set the appointment. 1 out of 3 or 1 out of 4 people that I meet with will then eventually join Keller Williams. And it's my job. If you refer that person to me, I will do everything in my power to make sure that they get put in your downline. Okay? Questions on that?
I have more of a drunk monkey about it because
let's hear it. I love it.
Just with as many Keller Williams agents as there are in this area, I think I'm afraid sometimes if it's an agent that I'm like, they've probably heard from like 15 million Keller Williams agents about, oh, talk to my team leader. So I think if they've been in the business and they're doing well, I like kind of just assume that they've already, you know, talked to someone from KW and just wouldn't be interested. So I know that's not a good thought. I usually like have no problem talking to those people from a rinky-dink, you know, brokerage company, because that's where I came from. But when it's the people who have, you know, a bigger support system, I think I struggle with that a little bit.
I really appreciate you being honest about that. And what I'll say is this. We never know what somebody, how many people, you know, how many times somebody has been recruited or somebody hasn't been recruited. I have heard time and time again from some top agents that they never get recruited. I can count on one hand the times I've been recruited by other companies in 15 years.
Yeah, that surprises me, truthfully. I just kind of assumed that everybody tries to recruit them, so they're probably just going to ignore me.
I mean, I'm talking about like a call, like you know, not an email or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's just what it is. So, and I would say, hey, listen, maybe the person who is talking to them about Keller Williams, here's another mistake that a lot of people make. They're so excited to help build their profit share tree that they just throw up Keller Williams all over somebody. Right? And that is a turnoff to a lot of people. So just be an awesome agent and ask them a question. The other thing is, you know, if they're willing to meet with me for a free coaching appointment, that's awesome. I just uploaded to the chat channel that script. The other thing is we have some great trainings and events that you can invite them to, right? So we have Mega Camp coming up here. We will pay for a free ticket for anyone to attend Mega Camp that's with a different company. It's $120 or something to get there. It's September 15th through 17th. If you talk to somebody and they're saying, oh, you know, I'm so busy, I really need to hire an assistant, but I have no place to start. There's a career visioning class coming up on September 3rd. You know, so invite them to things that we have going on. And, you know, coming to Keller Williams for most people is an experiential thing. So in other words, like they can meet with me in my office and things like that. I'm going to try to get them involved in some kind of experience, whether it's a mega camp or career visioning or something where they can kind of get an idea of what the whole company is about, right? When you put somebody in that kind of environment, it's a lot more attractive than just like, even if we have a great coaching meeting, that's going to be great. But if we have a great coaching meeting and they attend a training that like blows their socks away, like they're going to be like, oh my gosh, I need to be here. So.
Caleb, can I just add something onto what Jackie was saying about the drunk monkey? Even if there have been other people who maybe have tried to recruit them or have mentioned something about Keller Williams and meeting a team leader, it's really dependent upon the relationship that you've built with that person. So it could have been someone else who was just plain recruiting them or just approached them. But if you've built a better relationship, then they have more trust in you and your relationships. So it could be a completely different turnout at the end. So if you truly feel that you've built a really good relationship with a co-op, then it shouldn't even matter if other people have approached them. It's based on the relationship that you have with them. It's kind of like when you're going out and getting listings and things like that. So many other agents are approaching them, but it's the relationship that they build with that person, which helps win that. So.
Thank you.
And one thing I know about life is you don't get what you don't ask for.
That's right.
Yep. And if you go out, it's the same way as like if I'm calling my database and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want to ask for a referral because I don't want to seem like a pushy real estate agent. Well, what's at stake if you don't ask for the referral is they might have a referral. Their best friend might need to buy and sell a house. And because you didn't ask for a referral, they might end up with a subpar agent that's not going to give them the kind of service that they deserve. So if you're having a great transaction with an agent and you think, oh my gosh, I'm scared, I don't want to ask them, about Keller Williams or if they'd meet with Caleb or whatever, they might end up moving to a different company where they're not going to be able to grow their business, where they're not going to be able to grow their wealth, and they're not going to be able to have, a more abundant life. And that's our goal. That's our vision for this place.
One last thing on Jackie's point, because I feel the same way a lot of times, and I fight through it. You never know where that agent's at either. Like they may have heard about Keller Williams 3 or 4 times over the years, and they truly weren't ready to make a move or never thought they would ever make a move. But if you catch them when they really are thinking about making a move, it might be very receptive. Just people I talked to for years almost forget to stay in touch with them, and then they call me one day, hey, John, I think I want to talk about Keller Williams now. You never know where somebody is, and these are such strange times. A lot of people are looking closely at what they're doing and making sure that they are positioned properly.
And Jackie, it's really no different at all than everybody that's thinking about buying or selling, because everybody that's thinking about buying or selling, they also know 10 realtors. And if you ask, and like if you are in a pretty good relationship with an agent and they ask you anything about the company and you say, is it okay, can I just tell you my story? And I mean, my gosh, to say that you've got like whatever you've got going on, you got like 20, 25 closed deals already and like 20 pendings. That's insane.
Like 29 pendings maybe right now. I'm not sure, but
exactly. That's a lot. That's amazing. And you can just go, hey, it's just been because of what I've learned and the models and the systems and the support and the culture of the company that I've just taken off in my business the last couple of years. And when they hear that, that's so valid. Your story is way more important than our story.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. And I guess I never really thought about sharing that so much with people. Like I think about it with newer agents or those people in smaller brokerages, but I guess I forget that other people in bigger brokerages could be feeling the same way I did before I came here. So
everybody is recruitable. Doesn't matter if they're brand new or been in the business 35 years like myself. I mean, the only recruiting I get is was it Realty Marks? It sends me texts like every 3 weeks or something like, oh, Dave, you ready to make a change type of thing. And it's so impersonal.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're going to wrap up pretty quick here, but I'll say this. I mean, one of the things, Cindy really touched on this as well. I think it's really important to make profit share personal. And what I mean by that is, as Cindy said, hey, take all that money that you're earning from profit share and put it into a different account. Like for me, I started doing this at the beginning of the year. All of the income that I earned from passive income through Keller Williams, whether it's the guard insurance money, the title money, or profit share, I'm putting all of that in a separate account that I'm saving up for a down payment for a beach property. Like, I want to buy a house at the shore. So if there's something that's really important to you, some goal that would be amazing for you and your family, why not set that money aside for something special? I know, like Anne-Marie Hines, she paid for her daughter's first year of college 100% out of profit share that she earned last year. That's awesome. Like, how many of you, if you have kids, like worry about like, oh my gosh, how am I going to pay for school for my kids? Like, pick something that you're passionate about, whether it's a charity, you know, that you want to help or whatever. Pick something that's going to be meaningful for you and that's going to help you take action on that. It does, you know, anything that you're passionate about, but, you know, tie something emotional and meaningful to that profit share, and it's going to help you propel you forward to get out of your comfort zone.
And Dave's got a story about that too.
About my beach house.
Yeah.
I bought a beach house 6 years ago almost. Would never have been able to do that if I had stayed with Fox and Roach. I did it here and had the and it, you know, like I said, last year I made $18,000. I rent out my beach house July and August, and I get about $23,000 in income for those 2 months. So 23 plus the 18 that I'm getting on profit share pays well more than what the house at the shore is worth.
Dave, I'm pretty sure you're the one who inspired me to do that. I didn't even realize it till now, but I remember when you bought your beach house, I was like, dude, how did you buy this beach house? Tell me about it. Like, I want to buy a beach house. That's awesome. So,
and I think, and I don't know anything about numbers or taxes or anything because my wife does all that crap, but my understanding is that because we have the passive income, because we have the beach house as a second home, it helps with our passive income write-off for taxes.
That's awesome.
So the more income you make in passive income and you have investments like a beach house, there's apparently write-offs. I don't understand it, but that's what I've been told anyway.
Talk to your accountant or message Donna on Facebook.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you one more quick real story. So Mike Campo is a Remax agent. I came from Remax. Mike Campo came from Remax, and he'd been with Keller Williams for about 2 years. And he comes driving up to a settlement, and he's driving a Porsche. And people were saying, wow, Mike, we know you love cars. You got a new car. And he said, absolutely. He said, this is really cool. And they went, man, that's a pretty big move. Keller Williams is working out pretty good for you. He said, actually, my car's free. He said, I don't pay anything for that car. I said, what do you mean? He said, my car payment was like $600 a month. And this was a long time ago, like 16, 17, 18 years ago. He said, my car payment is about $600 a month and my profit share pays for my car. So he's driving a free Porsche, and he always loved sports cars. So that was a story that just resonated with me. It's just like, because he loved sports cars and he always wanted to drive a really nice car.
John's traded in the family truckster for a Porsche.
Just a Dodge Charger Scat Pack, but almost.
I love it. Love it. So a couple things. First of all, join the Profit Share Mastermind, the Keller Williams Profit Share Mastermind on Facebook. That's run by Aaron Kaufman, and there's just a bunch of stories in there and updates about profit share. It keeps it top of mind. It keeps it fresh. Definitely join that if you're not already a member. And speaking of Aaron Kaufman, like we mentioned earlier in the call, he is going to be our office meeting next week is going to be replaced by Aaron Kaufman. And he's going to be talking all about profit share. If this kind of whetted your appetite, he's going to really get you excited about it because he's got a lot of energy, got a ton of passion, and he knows his stuff when it comes to profit share. So he has helped a lot of people.
I did put the registration link in the chat so people can jump on that before we end the call and get registered.
I also have a file that I put in there, how to send me referrals. And that's just a really quick script. Obviously, if you're in Devon Wayne, don't send me referrals, send Greg referrals. But if you're in Westchester or Exton, I would love to talk to anyone that you know and are building a relationship with about opportunities here at our company. So, all right. So to wrap things up here, where is this? So a lot of you have probably, where is this slide? Okay, not there. A lot of you have probably heard of the Chinese proverb, the best time to plant a tree is when?
100 years ago or today?
I think it was 20 years ago is what I heard, but 100 years ago sounds good too. Best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time to plant a tree is today. So the best time to plant your profit share tree was 20 years ago. Second best time is today. Let's go.
It's a great call, Caleb. Great call.
Yeah. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Caleb. See you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank
Have a
you.
great
Bye.
day.
Guys, bye.
Thanks, Caleb.